on the Champions League. It is, of course, Group F. Leipzig take on Real Madrid. We'll keep you across that. The big one for us is in the east end of Glasgow. It is Celtic against Shakhtar Donetsk. More from Tom English to come at half-time. Live commentary right now from John Collins, Pat Bonner and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Richard. Welcome to an electric Celtic Park on a perfect autumn evening in the east end of Glasgow. Results may not have gone their way in the Champions League thus far, but spirits remain extremely high ahead of what is a must-win fixture to retain hopes of Europa League football post-Christmas. Shakhtar themselves have exceeded expectations, narrowly missing out on an extraordinary win over Real Madrid last time out. Antonio Rudiger's 95th minute equaliser denying them all 3 points. They could consider themselves lucky to have taken a point from the previous meeting with Celtic, but a phenomenal 4-1 win away in Leipzig showed just what they are capable of. So victory, no formality for Celtic this evening, but certainly an opportunity to put 3 points more on the board. Just a quick word about a really nice touch from Celtic this evening. A lot of the mascots here this evening were young Ukrainian children, and I know there are a number of Ukrainian families here who are being displaced because of the war in their homeland. Guests of Celtic tonight, and Celtic's charitable arm have been doing a lot of work with Ukrainians who have had to make their home here over the last few months. So really nice from Celtic, I think, and worth mentioning. But it's Shakhtar who will get us underway, and Lassina Traore, their figurehead up front, too, will get us underway. Celtic will go from left to right as we look at it from our position in the main stand. Frankie Bonner and John Collins alongside me, looking forward to what promises to be a really entertaining evening of football. The referee is from the Netherlands, and he is just awaiting the final signal from the touchline. And we're underway, and it's Lassina Traore who goes back the way, and Shakhtar thump it forwards and immediately out of play, and Celtic have a throw-in over on the far side to be taken quickly by Greg Taylor, and you know for sure that they will be getting things moving as quickly as possible when it goes out in the dead ball situation. So here's Cameron Carter-Vickers in the opening seconds for Celtic. A packed stadium here, as it always is on Champions League nights. Greg Taylor just unable to keep the ball in over on the far side. Shakhtar will get the throw in, and well, they have, Packy, shown what they can do in certain games, but I think you and I were similarly unimpressed by them out in Warsaw when they played Celtic.
Yeah, it was the opening 20 minutes. I thought Celtic controlled the game, and I thought the Celtic was going to go on to control the game, but they came back into it, you know, and they started then to get a wee bit more confidence and worked the ball through the thirds of the pitch, and they were just a little became dangerous, and then it resulted in that draw. Of course, tonight set up 4, almost 3, but they're almost dropping back into a very compact unit, which I expected.
He'll go into the penalty area, and out off his line comes Anatoly Trubin to gather after the interception by Valery Bondar. Trubin lost 3 goals the last time he was in Glasgow. That was an international duty, as he was between the sticks as Scotland beat Ukraine in that fabulous 3-0 victory at Hampden. As Mudryk, who also played in that game, picks up, he's given the ball to Hatate, but he's being pulled back as he tried to release the pass, and the home fans don't like the award of the free kick, but it's going Shakhtar's way. John Collins.
Good start from Celtic, again pressing high. Kyogo doing what he's really good at, he's putting them under high pressure. Haven't had any chances, but tempo's as usual, high tempo.
And the line-up, Packy, as you were thinking, I think that Kyogo just off Giacomakis in the central area, Haksabanovic out to the left-hand side, and Abada on the right.
Yeah, but he will join with Giacomakis, you know, when the opportunity arises, and I think he'll go and press also high in it too. But it's interesting because Celtic have got those players. Here's a chance for Celtic.
Yeah, Abada, edge of the penalty area, just inside the box, tries to play it square for Giacomakis, comes off. Bogdan Mikhailichenko out for a throw in this near side, 2.5 played.
Yeah, I was going to say that they might go a little bit more longer, Shakhtar, because I don't think they'll be able to play through Celtic's kind of almost high press early on in this game anyway.
Here's Jens out to the far side, and now Hatate for Saturday's match winner, Taylor. What a game that was. If this game lives up to the game at Tynecastle, it'll be doing well. It's a free kick to Celtic in a good area, left-hand side, just a few yards in from the touchline, and an early opportunity to put the ball into the penalty area. Taylor wants to take the free kick quickly, but the referee will pull it back.
I'm not sure if my heart would stand 4-3 on a European night. It would be unbelievable if that was going to end up being the score.
Really important we get good deliveries. We've got plenty of bodies in the box. It's all about a quality delivery. Don't float it in, whip it in, good pace.
Haksabanovic, we know, can deliver. Left-hand side, right-footed. The Montenegrin lines up this as the crowd get right behind the home side. The referee just making sure everything's in order inside the penalty areas. Haksabanovic sends it in low. It's a poor delivery, actually. Surikov able to clear the first man out for a throw-in, but you were looking for better there, John.
100%. He's got to clear the first man. He's got 7 of his teammates in the box. He's got to be able to deliver it from there.
Carter Vickers has it midway inside the Shakhtar half. Traore is the furthest forward, even he's 15 yards inside his own half. Taylor nudges it forwards, about 10 yards from the goal line. The Celtic full-back done well. Again, it's gone out for a throw-in over on the far side, just running it out of play.
He's been doing ever so well, Greg Taylor, but I thought he should have whipped that in earlier. Had an opportunity, took an extra touch, didn't he? He should have just whipped it in.
Yeah, but he's been sensational in this last while, even coming on at the weekend. I thought he was Celtic's turning point in the game, Yeah,
it made a huge difference, clearly, not least with the winning goal, sliding in on Abada's deflected shot to take all 3 points at Tynecastle and ultimately extend Celtic's advantage at the top to 4 points. Here comes Celtic. It's Haksabanovic, left-hand side, just skews his cross behind for a goal kick, but it has been Celtic on the front foot, certainly for the opening 5 minutes. 0-0 though.
Yeah, on the front foot, but they've got to make better use of being in that commanding position. You know, that time Haksabanovic again, bit of pace, opens up his legs, but then the final ball was wanting, and just got to wrap his foot around and get in. He's got the targets in there now, the 2 strikers and somebody joining from midfield.
Poor clearance, but O'Reilly couldn't pick out Kyogo as he picked up the ball in the middle of the park. Again,
they're trying to play out for the back. Celtic are setting little traps for them, and when they're going, the whole team's going.
Yeah, it's Matvienko who's rolling the goal kick to his goalkeeper across the 6-yard box. Plays it out to the right-hand side, and it's played forward by Valery Bondar up towards Zubkov, who scored in either game against Real Madrid. One of them in the Bernabeu particularly was a real cracker, an acrobatic effort, albeit ultimately was only a consolation. Here's O'Reilly in the centre circle out to the left-hand side, and it's Haksabanovic midway inside Shakhtar territory, sends to the back post, looking for Abada, who does reasonably well up against Mikhailchenko here in the left-back position, out for a throw-in to Celtic, quickly taken by Juranovic. Ball's played to them by the ball boys so quickly here at Celtic Park, you can barely take your eye off it.
They've been well trained, the ball boys, and there's a boy girl that's down there. Indeed. Boy girl, a girl,
get it
ball
right.
boy.
Get it right.
Here's Juranovic, right-hand side. Clear away as far as Haksabanovic. Zubkov back to help out his defence. Shakhtar really struggling to get out of their own defensive third, but here they come now on the left-hand side. It's Mikhailchenko midway inside his own half, just nudges it back to Surikov. Back inside the Shakhtar penalty area, but it's Matvienko playing it square to Bondar, and back to his keeper again. They really are taking chances inside their own 18-yard box. Back once more with Truvan. Stepanenko. It's confident play. They've eventually given it away, but it's in a less dangerous area, but Celtic do pick up, and it's Haksabanovic getting the pass from Taylor, finding it very difficult to certainly get into the Celtic half just at this stage. Shakhtar Donetsk, 7 minutes in though, Celtic 0, Shakhtar 0, as Carter Vickers has it on the halfway line. Both coaches out on the edge of their technical area. The Shakhtar boss, Igor Jovicevic, very animated down there, trying to get his team a bit further up the park, I think, as Jens turns it back to Joe Hart, who's barely seen the ball in these opening 7.5 minutes. Plays it short to the captain, Cameron Carter Vickers. Now it's Juranovic to Kyogo, halfway line, right-hand side, being allowed to just drift, picking up the ball and then comes inside, finds Hatate, great control. Giakoumakis takes a shot on, scoops it over the crossbar from 22 yards out. Decent idea, but just gets it all wrong in the end.
Magnificent play from Kyogo, picks it up deep, darts through 3 players, plays a superb pass to Hatate. Hatate, good adjustment. Just have to hit the target once again. It's the final shot.
He also had, I think it was Haksabanovic on his left-hand side. Giakoumakis, when he picked it up, he elected to go quickly with a shot, and he just maybe if he picked up his head, he could have slipped Haksabanovic in on that left-hand side.
There's Bondarenko in the middle of the park for Shakhtar. First real opportunity of the game there for Giakoumakis. Excellent play by both Kyogo and Hatate to slip him in. And just the final execution from the Greek. Not quite on point as Shakhtar look to try and settle into the game. It's Surikov forward, and here's a first look at Mudryk coming in from the left-hand side. Certainly looks a talented player, heavily linked with Arsenal among others in recent times. Stepanenko, the Shakhtar captain, plays it short, and it's now Surikov out to the left-hand side to Mikhailichenko. The boos from the home fans as Shakhtar finally string a few passes together in Celtic territory, but it's gone back into the Shakhtar half. They just look to keep possession, playing it about at the backs. Matvienko, he'll come out to the left-hand side now. It's a good ball from Mikhailichenko on the halfway line, infield for Mudryk. Celtic don't want to allow him to get up ahead of steam inside their half. Forward for Traore, back the way it goes to the captain Stepanenko. Tries to set himself for a pass out to the left-hand side, can't do so, and in the end just goes short for Taylor. Decent bit of possession though for Shakhtar as they look to play themselves slowly into the game.
Yeah, it's the best spell they've had so far in the game. Get lots of passes, good quality passing by the way, just waiting, biding their time for maybe a runner to go that they can slip through.
Bondarenko about 10 yards inside his own half on the left-hand side. Goes back the way again to Matvienko, another of the Ukrainian internationals who played against Scotland. He's played in all 3 this year actually. Back it goes to Trubin, and then Matvienko on the left-hand side of his own penalty area, closed down by Kyogo. Poor ball forward, that'll be picked up by O'Reilly. Tried to link with Hatate, he didn't read it, and Traore picks up possession midway inside his own half, feeds it out to Taylor on the right-hand side, the right full-back coming up to the halfway line, and then plays it infield to Stepanenko. 10 minutes in, goalless. Celtic dominating the attacking play, but Giakoumakis with the only real opportunity as Shakhtar allow the ball to slip out of play. It will be a Celtic throw-in, more or less on the halfway line on the right-hand side, to be taken by Juranovic, the Croatian, and takes that throw-in back to Hatate on the halfway line. Now it's Jens out to the left-hand side for Haksabanovic, midway inside the Shakhtar half, looking back in field for options. Jens is one of them, and he plays it square to Carter Vickers, just at the edge of the centre circle, inside the Shakhtar half. Forward it goes, onto Giakoumakis. Hatate back in, almost fell for Giakoumakis again, wouldn't fall for either him or Kyogo in the end, and Shakhtar scramble it clear, but it was uncomfortable for a minute for the Ukrainians. But here comes Mudryk, good run from him, away from O'Reilly, feeds Mikhailichenko down the left-hand side, he'll just keep it in. 15 yards from the goal line, turns back, plays it to Traore. Now it's Stepanenko midway inside the Celtic half as Shakhtar look to try and test the Celtic backline for the first time. Lucas Taylor again, they just take the sting out of the forward move, but just going back a few moments ago, John, that was an opening there for Celtic. It just wouldn't quite sit for either of their forward players.
It just wouldn't come down, just that final little pass to cut them open to give them a goal scoring opportunity. Not quite had it yet, but they've started well. But this little period now, Shakhtar are getting a feel of the ball, they're knocking about. This is when it's really important Celtic stay compact and don't go in ones and twos and press, stay together.
Absolutely, and if they do want it, there is space to go and exploit. That's the other thing, you know, when you're passing the ball around, you have to open up a little bit more. So can Celtic exploit that?
Here's Zubkov, back to Bondarenko in the middle of the park, and he switches play out to the left-hand side. Mikhailichenko in an advanced position up against Juranovic, coming up towards the edge of the penalty, swings it in, he's looking for Traore, but Taylor was there ahead of the big striker, and then looked like Abada had a back made for him, but the referee was in a good position, decides there was nothing wrong with it. Stepanenko in for Bondarenko, midway inside the Celtic half. Back it goes to Mikhailichenko, now Mudryk. You can hear the whistles from the home fans who don't like this possession being enjoyed by the visiting team. They haven't been able to really hurt Celtic so far.
I don't actually think the booing helps the team.
No.
I'm not happy with that. They've got to stay calm, the supporters, because the last thing you want is the players running out in ones and twos thinking, oh, I've got to react to the fans' boos.
Yeah, and it's okay, you know, you can allow them to pass the ball around the halfway line, around at the back, and just wait for the trigger to go and press and try and win the ball back. And if you do, then there is opportunity for you. Sometimes when they're all compact and they're sitting back on the edge of the box, there's nowhere for you to go.
Here's Taylor, right hand side. Lucas Taylor is for Shakhtar, not to be confused with Greg Taylor, who is now in possession for Celtic in the left back area. Plays a 1-2 with Haksabanovic, lovely play, and then up it goes to Giakoumakis. Rather heavy first touch, but he's managed to hold on to possession and knocks it out of play though as he tried to link with a teammate. It's a throw into Shakhtar. What that period of possession for Shakhtar did do was somewhat kill the atmosphere inside Celtic Park. The Green Brigade over on the far side and others trying to get it going again with the drums and so on, as Stepanenko takes a poor touch but manages to get it forward to Zubkov. He's well challenged though by Jens on the halfway line. Coming forward, the German out to the left hand side for Haksabanovic. 14 played, 0-0. Celtic trying to do something about that. Haksabanovic up to the edge of the penalty area. Infield it goes to O'Reilly, back to Hatate, midway inside the Shakhtar half. Invites Juranovic forward, 25 yards from goal, swings it in from the right hand side. Come to Haksabanovic at the back post, but he can't make anything of it. It took a nick just before it came to him. He wasn't able to bring it under control. Finds its way into the arms of Anatoly Trubin. Almost a quarter of an hour gone. It's Celtic 0, Shakhtar 0.
They had a little chance there, Celtic, to hit them on a counter-attack. They won the ball back through Jens, and he passed it forward, but everything slowed down a little bit. Just a wee bit quicker on that counter. I think they can exploit it, but they just got to do it a wee bit quicker when they get a ball.
Mikhailichenko looking to play it forward for Traore, but was way off target with the pass, and Jens is able to pick up and feed it forward to Matt O'Reilly, who plays it square just inside his own half to Cameron Carter-Vickers. And Postecoglou standing at the edge of his technical area, pretty calm as he tends to be fair. He's rarely up nor down, as it's given away though by Jens to Stepanenko, and he feeds it forward for Zubkov on the right hand side. Cutting in onto his left foot. It's a good ball for Sudakov. Sudakov coming forward, tries to link with Mudryk, but it's a poor pass in the end, and Juranovic picks up possession on the edge of the penalty area and plays a short pass to Hatate. It's a poor one, picked out by Stepanenko. The crowd didn't like that. Here's Mudryk on the edge of the penalty area, trying to get away from Carter-Vickers. Mudryk's passed a couple of players. Taylor sticks with him though and does well to show him out to the far side and out for a corner in the end, but it's a lot better than it might have been.
Sloppy there. I think Hatate should have came towards the ball. He was waiting on the ball coming and caused interception. But Mudryk is the one who you worry about. He's got that pace, that acceleration. He can get in behind the back four in a split second.
Shakhtar corner right hand side, earned by Mudryk, but Greg Taylor stood up to him well. And the corner kick will be taken by Mudryk. Swings it in near post, flicked on by Bondarenko. Comes to the edge of the box to Mikhailichenko on the right foot. It's well closed down by Juranovic and breaks up the field to Abada. Now it's Haksabanovic trying to link with Abada once more down the left hand side. The Israeli up against Matvienko, couldn't find a ball forward for a teammate, and Bondarenko able to play it forward, but Greg Taylor picks up and finds O'Reilly, middle of the penalty area, as Taylor comes forward right hand side, tries to squeeze it into the 6-yard box, and it's a good defensive header, and all of a sudden the Celtic fans are on their feet as Celtic win themselves a corner. 16 and a half in.
Yeah, that was better.
Shakhtar 0.
That was better. Sorry, Al, that was really better, because if you delay on the ball, they just funnel back into a defensive shape, and it makes it really difficult for you. So the quicker they can get that ball, as soon as they want it, hit them on a counter-attack, and it opens up, and they've got enough quality in the team to do that.
Abada, short corner, back to O'Reilly, goes for goal, but comes off the outside of the left boot and swings away from goal instead from the midfielder. Behind for a goal kick, 0-0.
I just like to see them put good quality deliveries direct in for the corner. You all your big men in the box who are good in the air, put it in for them.
Short goal kick taken again. Leipzig have gone 1-0 up through Josep Guardiola against Real Madrid, which is something of a turn up for the books perhaps, although we saw in the 2 games against Celtic just what a good side RB Leipzig are. Real Madrid then trailing group leaders. That would, if it stays that way, I think take RB Leipzig to within a point of Real Madrid ahead of Celtic's visit to the Bernabeu next week. Here's Surikov for Shakhtar coming forward, exchanging passes with Traore. It breaks down. Kyogo able to get it back to O'Reilly. He finds Abada. It's all very congested in the middle of the park. Shakhtar have won it back. Bondarenko out to the left-hand side for Mikhailichenko, midway inside the Celtic half. Mikhailichenko uses Mudryk just outside him. He tries to tease it in towards the back post. And it required a defensive header from Jens there to deny Zubkov an opportunity. It goes behind for another Shakhtar corner. 18 in, it's goalless.
I've got to say, Shakhtar's well organised. You know, they keep the ball well, they pass it. They're not in a big rush at times to go forward, to come back. They'll keep it, they'll frustrate Celtic. Yeah. And in that instance there, they counter-press really well to win the ball back when Celtic looked as if they were going to hit them. Now they've got their corner.
Sudikov's down though, just outside the Celtic penalty area. Referee just checking whether he needs any treatment. Kyogo also coming out, the two number 8s. Just taking his time, he's tying his lace right now. Georgi Surikov, and it will be a Shakhtar corner over on the right hand side. The sting has just gone out of the crowd and out of the game. A little bit of Shakhtar have played their way in after a really promising opening from Celtic. No goals and no really clear-cut opportunities as Mudryk sends it in. Traore gets his header all wrong, but it might find its way back out to Mudryk, who was offside according to the assistant over on the far side. It'll be a Celtic free kick deep in their own territory. 90 minutes played, Celtic 0, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
It was an important challenge from actually Carter Vickers there, because Traore came from the back post all the way round to the front post area, and he lost his marker, so Carter Vickers had to go and challenge him, put him off.
Juranovic bursting away down the right hand side. Mudryk trying to get back at him. Good challenge by Mikhailichenko in the end, but Juranovic gets back up to keep possession, finds O'Reilly, now Hatate, and then Abada breaks though off Matvienko. Shakhtar pick up in the middle of the park, and it's Bondarenko coming away with possession. Hatate trying to get back at him. He takes all the way over to the right hand side, and then in barges Haksabanovic, and that's not to the liking of the Dutch referee, and it will be a Shakhtar free kick just inside their own half. We've played 20 minutes almost at Celtic Park. There are no goals, neither goalkeepers being called into action. Giakoumakis with Celtic's best opportunity, which he scooped over the bar from just outside the penalty area. At the other end, Joe Hart has been untroubled. But Shakhtar certainly, I think, looking more composed than they did in the previous game out in Warsaw.
They're full of confidence. You can see that. They're very relaxed. There's no tension about them. They're organised, as Pat's just said. They've got good defensive shape. When they lose the ball, they get compact very quick. The wide players are working back. It's going to take a top quality performance for Celtic to break through them, actually.
2-0 to Leipzig against Real Madrid, and Kunku has added to Guardiol's goal out there. So Leipzig looking pretty good for a place in the last 16 if they can continue to.
It's probably not the result that Celtic want, because they would like them to have to go into the last game and have to get really something out of it.
Well, they need something out of it almost regardless of the scoreline in that game. But yes, you mean Real Madrid would need something out of it, Paki?
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying, if they beat Leipzig tonight, then and Celtic won this game, then it goes down to the last game really, and Celtic then can get something out of the Real Madrid would be true. And
sure. Well, looks like Real Madrid have got a lot of work to do. Here's Kyogo coming forward as Celtic look to try and take the game to Shakhtar. Little back heel for Abad on the right hand side. Back to O'Reilly, midway inside Shakhtar's half. Out to Haksabanovic, left hand side of the penalty area, about 10 yards from the goal line. Looking to take on his man Lucas Taylor. In the end, just lays it back to Greg Taylor, who goes back in turn to Moritz Jens. And Postecoglou signalling wants the ball to come out to the right hand side. Juranovic has made the angle for the pass, but it's back in field for Greg Taylor, midway inside Shakhtar's half. Out now to Haksabanovic, left hand side, curls it in. It's good header away by Bondar from inside his own penalty area. O'Reilly picks up for Celtic. Now it's Carter Vickers out to the right hand side now with Juranovic. Thinks better of the early cross, goes back instead to Carter Vickers. Everyone behind the ball for Shakhtar Donetsk in their final third as Jens picks up for Celtic, squeezes it through for Taylor, angle of the box on the left hand side. Now it's Haksabanovic, about 15 yards from the corner flag, well matched though by Lucas Taylor, who's won it back for Shakhtar. Now Bondarenko helping out his right back, and Shakhtar just clear the ball out of play on this near side, throw into Celtic. Juranovic to take.
They're not afraid to pass it inside their own box, are they? They've got to get that right. That's high risk stuff, especially with Celtic's press, as we know.
Kyogo out to Juranovic, right hand side, time to measure the cross, swings it in. Giacomakis will attack it. He was coming away from goal. Did it take a nick? It did not. It's a goal kick awarded by the referee, and it remains quarter of the way through the game.
Good little spell for Celtic there. A couple of minutes, they've pinned them back again, got more possession, making them work, but they do become very compact very quick. So I think Celtic's got to go around the outside of them. I don't think they're going to be capable of going through them.
Trubin again taking a chance as Kyogo closed them down. You have to think that there might come an occasion where they get caught trying to play such risky football in their own 6-yard box virtually, but they've played round Celtic this time, and Lucas Taylor comes forward on the right hand side, linking with Zubkov. Zubkov has Jens coming out to close him down. Back it goes to Stepanenko, and it's Zubkov once more, just slightly right of centre. Back to Stepanenko once more. The captain tries to switch play. Mikhailichenko just couldn't quite bring it under control. Out for a goal kick to Celtic. There's another ball on the pitch which prevents Joe Hart taking the quick goal kick.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Juranovic there, gesticulating to Abada that he should have been round in the collar. I think he was too far in. Juranovic, he was closed off. He didn't realise that the player was behind him. And if the pass was maybe a little bit more accurate, it was a good pass, just was a little bit long and went out for a goal kick. But I thought the player was in.
Yeah, Mikhailichenko certainly had a bit of room, but Stepanenko's pass just had too much on it for him, as Juranovic picks up for Celtic. Down the right hand side it goes to Abada. Good first time ball for Kyogo, who's played a little nutmeg on Mikhailichenko, but back goes Sudikov to help out, and he plays the ball down the line for Mikhailichenko. Then Mudryk picks up. Good challenge though by Carter Vickers on the right hand side. O'Reilly picks up about 5 yards from the goal line. His attempted cross is closed down, but then Shakhtar knock it out of play. Throw-in quickly taken by Kyogo. Back to Juranovic. Kyogo once more, about 20 yards from the goal line. Back to Juranovic, midway inside Shakhtar's half. Plays a short ball for O'Reilly. Can he curl it? Oh, he does, and it's not too far away. That looked like it might have been destined for the top corner, but sadly for Celtic, it drifted just wide of the far post, and it remains Celtic 0, Shakhtar 0.
Superb effort by Matt O'Reilly. Just picked his spot, didn't go for power, just tried to bend in. It must have been inches past the post, but good effort.
And we talked about him getting, it was a sitting player, he's getting himself forward into that sort of inside right position, and that's where I think he does his best work.
Here's Mudryk at the other end, though, up towards the edge of the penalty area, inside the penalty area, step over, ditch to the byline, cuts it back between a couple of Shakhtar players, fortunately for Celtic, and it's gone through to Haksabanovic. But good play from Mudryk down the left hand side, just couldn't pick out a teammate in the end. Celtic trying to play out from their own corner flag, taking a chance as well at the back, but still having possession. It's Jens, plays it forward for Hatate, and then plays a wonderful pass to Taylor. Giacomakis linking with Hatate. Hatate was caught late, but Celtic have possession. It's Kyogo just inside his own half, crosses the halfway line now, just slightly right of centre. Forward for Juranovic. Juranovic has Abada, right hand side, near the goal line, up against Mikhailichenko. Abada just clips it into the penalty area. It's headed away only as far as O'Reilly. Hatate picks up, can't bring it under control, and cleared by Sudikov up to the halfway line. Traore is just held off by Vickers, and across comes Jens and knocks it back to Joe Hart. 26.5 minutes on the clock.
That was a fantastic phase of play from Celtic. Started away in the left hand corner, fabulous triangle passing, getting out of a tight situation, switchy play, and up next minute they're up here in the right wing area with Abada. Quality football.
It was, unfortunately, it didn't come to anything in the end, but you can see the confidence Celtic have in playing out from these tight areas.
I think it's quite a fascinating game, actually. You know, I didn't expect Shakhtar to be as composed as they are. When I watched the first game, they were under severe pressure from Celtic. Tonight they've shown great composure. They're working their way up the pitch at times, just maybe turning back when you expect maybe them to go and try and penetrate Celtic, but they're showing. And then Celtic, on the other hand, are sitting back a little bit, waiting for the moment, and when they do break, they look a threat. So it's a fascinating game to see how this will pan out.
Shakhtar in possession, their captain Stepanenko inside the centre circle up towards Traore, still inside the centre circle. Sudikov plays it back to Mikhailichenko just inside his own half, and then for Matvienko midway inside his own half, just again slowing it down, inviting Celtic to come and press them. Giacomakis and Haksabanovic both go and do that. Right back by Taylor to Matvienko just outside his own penalty area, then tries it ball forward for Mudryk. Too much on that though, all the way through to Joe Hart, who immediately bowls it out over Mudryk's head for Juranovic, crossing the halfway line. 28 on the clock, goalless. Celtic looking for the opener. It's a wonderful ball for Abada inside the penalty area. He was offside. Late flag came, but I think it was right, as Abada thought he'd won the corner. It will instead be a Shakhtar free kick inside the penalty area.
What a pass that was for Juranovic. He threaded it through a fabulous... Abada's just went slightly too early. He's got to see across the line. He can't be offside there. He's seen it.
Celtic won both their previous home games against Shakhtar, 1-0 in 2004-2005 and 2-1, as we were hearing about earlier, in 2007-2008. And it could well do with it a victory this evening as well, as Shakhtar again try and play out from their own penalty area and have managed to get up to the halfway line. Stepanenko trying to play through for Zubkov. That was cut out, and there's a poor challenge there on Abada just inside his own half, and it'll be a Celtic free kick.
Yeah, you can just see what Shakhtar was doing there. They were just trying to suck players out of a space for Stepanenko, who's at number 6 sitting in midfield, to get on the ball, and he got a couple of passes, and then he tried a penetrating pass through for a runner beyond the Celtic defence and was just cut out. Good play from Shakhtar, I've got to say.
Jens gets it back from Taylor just inside the Shakhtar half again. Shakhtar have brought everyone behind the ball. Zubkov's nicked it off. Greg Taylor feeds it forward for Traore. Here they come on the counter. Just Traore on his own. He goes for goal from 40 yards, and it was all along the ground. He really got that one wrong. And well, it's fortunate for Celtic, who'd given the ball away, but poor from Traore.
Yeah, I just wonder if in the back of his mind was he thinking that Joe Hart may have been way off his line and he had his head down the ball, because I'm sure from an analyst situation you see Joe do that a lot, and it might be a case where he's been told, if you get an opportunity, pick your head up and you might be able to do him over the top, but he never made connect.
Giacomakis has won it from Matvienko, that he's taken down outside the penalty area, right hand side. This is going to be a booking for Matvienko, first of the evening, and our free kick for Celtic. Inches outside the penalty area, but on the right hand side.
Excellent work from Giacomakis. He's hounding at the centre half, putting him under pressure, wins possession, drives toward the box, and rightfully opposition booked. Good position for Celtic again, movement in the box and a good delivery. It's key.
What, about 5 or 6 yards from the goal line, and just a yard at most outside the penalty area on the right hand side is going to be Sead Haksabanovic to deliver this one. He's got the option of O'Reilly at the edge of the penalty area for the cutback if he chooses, but plenty of Celtic bodies in and around the
Can he find
6-yard box on the edge.
Tati's hanging at the edge of the box.
Yeah, that's another option,
Could he hang it up for a volley?
Well, it's a difficult one to execute, isn't it? But certainly within
Speak
both
for
players. Well, certainly am. Certainly am. Here's Haksabanovic, right-footed over the free kick. Sends it towards the end of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away as far as O'Reilly. Haksabanovic picks back up, slides, but manages to get the pass away to O'Reilly. He gets the better of Mudryk on the right hand side. O'Reilly gets the head up, swings it back in. Traore heads clear out to this near side now for a throw in, and the Celtic free kick really comes to nothing in the end. It wasn't the greatest delivery again by Haksabanovic, in all truth.
Yeah, Haksabanovic did actually the right decision there. He went to go to play the ball back to his centre half, and just out of the corner of his eye, he's seen, I think it was Zubkov, who had made a dart to try and close in the centre half, and it would have been a 1v1 situation. So he had to turn back, and he did well to knock it down the line, keep possession.
Here is Haksabanovic back over on the left hand side, linking with Taylor, comes off Stepanenko out for a throw into Celtic on the left. Taylor takes it quickly back to Haksabanovic and back further to Jens, just inside Shakhtar's half. 32 played, goalless at Celtic Park, as Carter Vickers tries to move forward, plays it short to O'Reilly and then gets it back once more. The skipper just on the edge of the centre circle, plays it square this time to Jens, forward early to Greg Taylor, has to turn back the way though to Jens. Celtic not able to move forward as quickly as they like to do. Certainly in domestic football, a lot more difficult to find the spaces against opposition of the calibre of Shakhtar Donetsk. Here's Juranovic, a couple of yards in off the touchline down the right hand side, plays it forward to Kyogo. Kyogo back in field to O'Reilly, a bit of space for O'Reilly, finds Kyogo once more just outside the penalty area, cramping it under control. Stepanenko's clearance finds Mudryk, back it comes to Surakov inside his own penalty area, puts Matvienko under a little bit of pressure, but he digs out a clearance and finds Mudryk. Mudryk able to keep it in, links with Mikhailichenko, but Hatate cuts out his attempted pass, and it's back with Celtic, and it's Jens for Hatate once more, just inside Shakhtar territory, back with O'Reilly. O'Reilly just right of centre, plays it out to the right hand side to the touchline for Juranovic, links with Hatate. Juranovic once more, and back to Carter Vickers. A game of cat and mouse here between these two sides.
Very much so.
Tactically, they're really blocking the central area. Lots of bodies central.
So Celtic going round to out the left hand side this time. Haksabanovic, low cross in. Abada's there. Block. Yakimakis! Celtic in front. And it's Georgios Yakimakis. First to the loose ball to slide it in from close range. It's Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
And it's that getting down the outside, bit of pace from Haksabanovic, decent cross in low, and it falls to that extra man in the box, you've got to say. And we did say about having two in there. This time it was a bad at the run, actually beyond Yakimakis to take a defender away, and just ricocheted slightly, but what a good finish right into the corner of the net from Yakimakis.
It's the first time we really got close to the byline for the cutback, and it's such a difficult ball for the opposition to defend. Again, players in the box, excellent finish, and I think we've deserved that. I think Celtic's deserved that. The last 5-10 minutes we took control of the game, we've pinned them in their half. Just rewards.
First Champions League goal for Georgios Yakimakis, and an 8th of the season, joins Kyogo and Abada on 8 goals for the season. He's only the second Celtic player to score in the Champions League this season, joining Jota.
Well, we did talk about being clinical before the game. First chance, a goal. How many chances do we need before that to try and score? It only takes one, and if you put it in the back of the net, you're in a commanding position. You just got to keep now nice composure, don't get carried away with the crowd.
Yeah, and the crowd are right behind the team once more, has brought them to life.
Now you're going to see they're going to have to open up, and it might be easier to fire through them now.
Do you think they'll do that immediately, John? Do you think they'll see it to half time and see what happens from there?
I think they'll keep it tight till half time. You're probably right. It's important we keep the ball moving, keep our shape, keep our defensive shape. Two sitting midfielders, make sure you're protecting them from the counter attack.
Two sitting midfielders?
Well, should be two.
They should be. That's what I keep saying all the time.
Celtic have a free kick over on the far side. Greg Taylor winning that one, just about 10 yards away from the corner flag. And it'll be Haksabanovic to deliver from the left-hand side, right-footed. Can Celtic double up in double quick time? Yakimakis has put them in front, in charge in the game, looking for their first Champions League win of the season. And a second goal in quick-fire time would do no harm at all in trying to bring that about. The referee just sorting things out in the penalty area before Haksabanovic allowed to deliver. Right-footed, curls it in, near post, ball headed behind for a corner off Lucas Taylor. And Celtic still knocking on the door, looking for this second goal. 9 minutes till the break. Yakimakis with the breakthrough just 60 seconds ago. And Haksabanovic will have the chance once more, this time from the corner kick, left-hand side. Again, it'll be right-footed from the Montenegrin international. Raises two arms in signal to his teammates. Again, it's a near post ball. This time it's headed away by Lucas Taylor at the near post. Now for a throw-in over on the far side. 36.5 on the clock. Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
Yeah, good position they're in now. You're right, John. I think that might force them out at times a little bit more, because they have done well in possession. They've done well in getting very compact. But they still know now that they have to go and try and score, especially with Leipzig being 2-0 up.
Well, exactly. It's a good point, Packy. Yeah. If they have dreams of progressing in the Champions League, certainly they have to match Leipzig's result, which at the moment is looking like a victory. as Lucas Taylor comes forward down the right-hand side.
Well, straight away they're committing more men higher up the pitch. 4 across the top of the pitch. If Celtic can nip it now.
Back with the goalkeeper, Trubin, and then out to Bondar on the right-hand side. Lucas Taylor under pressure, manages to keep possession. No, back with Bondar, almost on his own goal line, looking for options. Under pressure, he stays cool, spins away from Giakoumakis. 8 to the break, 1-0 Celtic. Giakoumakis with the goal. Abada wins the header, finds Kyogo. Kyogo battling away there, so too Abada. Breaks for Stepanenko, comes to Hatate though, out to the left-hand side. Haksabanovic, good first touch, into the penalty area comes, left-hand side. O'Reilly now encouraged to shoot, goes for goal. Trubin saves inside his own 6-yard box. Good effort from O'Reilly, just maybe too central in the end, and Shakhtar survive. Traore wins possession inside the centre circle. Zubkov though outnumbered by Jensen, Carter Vickers, and then Hatate picks up. The Celtic fans really enjoying what they're seeing now.
We mentioned Carter Vickers. Every time the ball goes forward in the air, he's right on top of the number 9, giving them not a split second to control it. He's winning every challenge.
That's so important, that, John, too,
Vital.
because we talked about it before the game. The two of them will have a real defensive role to play.
At number 9, incidentally, oddly enough, wears the number 2, Lassina Traore. That's one of those anomalies of modern football. We wouldn't have had that in your day,
No.
chaps.
Always a
Centre
9.
forward wearing a number 2. Anyhow, that's for another moment as Giakoumakis picks up midway inside Shakhtar territory. Comes towards goal, goes for goal. Good save by Trubin. Head in the hands for Giakoumakis, who really got hold of the effort. Almost had his second goal of the night. Good save, Trubin. Corner kick Celtic, 1-0 they lead.
It was a great shot, great save also. Goalkeeper in a good position. He got real tempo on that shot from about 25 yards out.
Right-hand side, left-hand side, the cross comes in. It's too deep though from Abada, and all the way behind for a goal kick, and the momentum just lost slightly for Celtic, but they really have got the crowd behind them with that goal, and then a couple other efforts on goal. Good saves from Trubin, from both O'Reilly and then particularly from Giakoumakis, throwing himself to his right to keep that pile driver from Giakoumakis out. But they do have the advantage, Celtic, thanks to Yorgos Giakoumakis. And Shakhtar have to do something about this, trying to play again out from the back with 5 minutes of the opening 45 remaining. 2-0 to Leipzig at home to Real Madrid in the other game in Group F. Celtic leading by a goal to 0.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. You always knew that the goalkeeper was going to pass that ball out to let just create a bit of a better angle for Giakoumakis there, and he would have closed him down better. He runs straight at him.
Here comes Bondarenko trying to create something out of the other end. The pass will eventually come from Lucas Taylor, tries to cut it back. O'Reilly was in the right place at the right time to knock it out of play over on the far side. A throw into Shakhtar, taken back the way on the right hand side. And Bondar comes back into the centre circle for Matvienko. Out to the left, it will come to Mikhailichenko. Back once more with Matvienko. They're deepening again. It's Bondar over the halfway line for Zubkov, and then back to Surikov. Rather sells Mudryk short. And it's a good challenge by Juranovic. He was offered the opportunity to intercept there. Shakhtar have won it back though. It's Surikov once more. He's given it away to Hatate. Hatate forward early, looking for Giakoumakis. Back to O'Reilly. O'Reilly in the centre circle, out to the left-hand side. Haksabanovic, 4 against 3 if he can move it quickly. Haksabanovic up to the edge of the penalty area. Shakhtar getting bodies back, tries the back heel for Taylor, and really didn't do his teammate any favours whatsoever there, Haksabanovic. And the move breaks down, and forward comes Shakhtar, looking for an equaliser before the break. It's Mikhailichenko forward for Traore down the left-hand side. Mikhailichenko come outside him once more. Forward through for Mudryk. Mudryk's in here. Good save by Joe Hart. Brilliant save, in fact. Out so quickly, then goes. Bondarenko goes down inside the penalty area. Back up to his feet he gets. No decision taken by the referee. Certainly not in terms of a penalty. And eventually Celtic win the ball back. Hearts in mouth there for a moment from the Celtic fans, but Joe Hart off his line very quickly to deny Mudryk. A wonderful pass through to him from Traore, and Joe Hart had to be his best there to keep out.
And that was a
Mudryk.
top class save. He's had nothing to do the whole game. Sign of a top quality goalkeeper.
Here come Shakhtar once more though. It's Bondarenko down the right hand side. Taylor now almost at the goal line, tries to square it for Traore. Carter Vickers was in there first, he knocks it behind. Celtic thought it should have been a goal kick. It will instead be a corner over on the far side. Shakhtar begin to press for this equaliser just in the last 60 seconds or so.
Yeah, critical time, 3 minutes to go to half time. Just they've got to really concentrate now. Make sure to pick up players, make sure nobody gets a free run and clear this one, just to get them in at half time, because they're in a good position.
Mudryk across to take from the right hand side, right footed. The left winger, outswinger to the near post, headed away by Giakoumakis. It'll come back to Mudryk. Mudryk right hand side on the left foot this time. It's a poor ball in again. It's well repelled this time by Carter Vickers. Shakhtar looking to keep Celtic pinned back in there. It's a poor ball in, and Hatate will pick up, and he's just taken it out of play there, and it will be a free kick. And I thought it might have been a yellow card for Surikov as the two players came together. Just a free kick though.
I think it's important Celtic try and slow the game down.
Yeah.
Don't run and chase at this stage of the game. Just try and get to half time with one in front. Keep possession of the ball.
Coming forward down the right hand side.
John, I totally agree, John. I absolutely say manage parts of the game out. You don't always have to go and try and score a goal every single time you get the ball.
It's not really in their DNA just at the moment, is it, to do that. Joe Hart with a short pass to Jens midway inside his own half. Now it's O'Reilly. A minute and a half to the interval. Celtic leading by a goal to nil. Shakhtar with their best and really only opportunity of the game a couple of minutes ago, but Joe Hart, Paki, what did you make of that?
That was a great save. That was a great save. And, you know, Mudryk is the player that you've got to watch. He's got pace. He makes good runs. He looks to make that penetrating run from a wide position. This time was through the middle, and Joe was out really quickly.
Here's Taylor, left-hand side, looking to hit the byline. Double challenge there by a couple of Shakhtar players to force the corner. Greg Taylor helped to his feet by the referee. Corner kick.
Got to give Greg Taylor enormous credit. He just gets up and down, always available, always tries to overlap. As soon as it breaks down, what does he do? Is 100% sprint back to his position. He's been outstanding this season.
Late chance in this first half then for Celtic to try and get a second, a bit of a coming together inside the 6-yard box. Jens is involved, and the referee's going to get involved as well to just sort things out. Jens is being called over, as is Matvienko in there. The referee just having a word with the two players, Jens and the Shakhtar player. Just it's Mikhailichenko actually who was involved there. It will be Haksabanovic, left hand side to curl in the corner kick. Again it's near post, again it's headed away by Lucas Taylor. Comes though to the edge of the box to Abada, who fires over the top. As the referee sees fit not to add on any injury time at the end of the first half, but the Celtic fans applaud their team off after they got the opening goal. In the first half they dominated. They had gone close initially with Matt O'Reilly. 25 minutes in was the first real sight of goal. Giakoumakis scooped an early effort over, and then O'Reilly went close with a curling effort that was just inches wide. But when the opening goal came, it was a move down the left-hand side. Haksabanovic found Abada. Abada's shot was blocked at the near post, but it fell kindly for Giakoumakis, who was first to it, sliding in to score low in the corner of Anatoly Trubin's net. That was 1-0 Celtic. There was a fierce drive from Giakoumakis 5 minutes later that brought a good save from Trubin also. And then Shakhtar, just 3 minutes before the interval, Joe Hart had to come out and look sharp to deny Mudryk after Traore had played him in with a beautiful pass in behind the Celtic defence. Mudryk was there first, but Hart was there quickly to block him. And that means at half-time at Celtic Park on Champions League match day 5, it's Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
Celtic in the Champions League.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Celtic score!
Get ready for sofa season with BBC iPlayer.
Everything you need at your fingertips.
Enjoy some dark nights with The Capture.
Correction is a method of real-time image manipulation.
They are attacking our national broadcast.
Take a journey into the unknown with The Wreck.
This ship is a merciless mistress.
We're in way over our heads.
There's a killer on the ship.
And discover the true story of a maverick billionaire with The Elon Musk Show.
He's done things no other country can do.
I think he is smarter than Einstein.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. It has been a lively first 45 minutes. Celtic have the advantage. They have shown A ruthless touch on that one occasion in front of goal where Georgios Giacomakis swiveled and smashed it into the bottom corner. Elsewhere, half-time in their group, Group F, it is Leipzig 2, Real Madrid 1. Gvardiol and Nkunku in the opening 18 minutes. Vinicius Jr. got one back for the champions just before the break. So 2-1 Leipzig against Real Madrid. In Group E, it's Dinamo Zagreb 0, Milan 1. Earlier in that group, Salzburg 1, Chelsea 2. Kai Havertz getting what turned out to be the winner. Group G, earlier a full-time Sevilla 3, Copenhagen 0. It's Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0. Group H, a couple of big score lines here. Paris Saint-Germain 4, Maccabi Haifa 1, and Benfica 3, Juventus 1. So that's Group H as it stands. Well, they're going to be coasting through. PSG and Benfica both on 11 points. Juventus and Maccabi Haifa both on 3. The Italians really struggling in that group. Right, more to come from Pat and from John, from Tom English as well. There is one game in the Scottish Championship this afternoon, reached half-time at Somerset Park. Now, it's been a lively one as well, so let's hear about the opening 45 minutes from Kenny.
Yeah, now into the second half, Richard. 50 minutes gone down here at Somerset Park, and it's Ayr United, as things stand, who are going to be top of the championship come the end of the night if they can keep their 2-1 advantage. It's been fast and frenetic in the first half, and it really burst into life on 16 minutes when Brad Young sprang the offside trap down the right-hand side, put a ball across the 6-yard box. Tunji Akinola tried to clear, but it rebounded off Logan Chalmers and into the net, so he's got his first Ayr United goal on loan from Dundee United, but the lead only lasted about 90 seconds, and a ball across from Jack McMillan ended up in a bit of a melee in the box, and Lee Hodson eventually got on the end of it, and I think Partick Thistle have just equalised. I think they have, yes, because Anton Dowd has got up at the back post. It's another messy goal, but he's put it across the line, and on 51 minutes Partick Thistle have got back to make it 2-2. Brian Graham it is with the final touch, and yes, Partick Thistle back into this. Ian McCall, their manager, was down here of course for 4 years, and it wasn't being a happy night back down at his former hunting ground, but now he's got back in with a shout again. 2-2 it is, yeah. So Jack McMillan, when they were 1-0 down, had put the ball across, and Lee Hodson had made it 1-1, and then on 39 minutes Darren Brownlee scored an OG for Partick Thistle. It was Logan Chalmers' cross, and he headed it in to his own net, did Darren Brownlee, until that Brian Graham equaliser, which just happened as we were speaking there. So it's Ayr United 2, Partick Thistle 2 with 52 minutes on the clock.
Kenny, thank you. Got there just in time. Same thing happened to Ayr at the weekend, twice in front against Cove Rangers, who twice battled back to earn a 2-2 draw. Is the scoring over, or will there be more action at Somerset? Kenny will be across it all. So tight in that top part of the table. Remember, the top 6 sides separated by just 3 points. Ayr United are one of those. A win and they go top. A draw would be enough to see Partick Thistle reclaim top spot, and both these sides playing the game in hand that they have over all their rivals in the division. So more to come from Kenny. Let's get more from Celtic Park. I've got to say, there's a spell there. They were playing a lot of good football, Tom English. It didn't seem to me that it was you know, they weren't creating the clear-cut chances that we were talking about that they were missing in the previous games. But they certainly stepped things up in that respect, and well, it's been an engrossing 45, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's been really interesting, Richard. Yeah, and I agree. You know, there was a lot of effort, a lot of energy in the Celtic performance, but not a lot of chances. Giacomakis had half a chance. O'Reilly had a lovely curling effort on about 20-25 minutes. But it was a lot of, you know, they were putting a lot into the game without getting a lot out of it, and then Giacomakis pops up, and he wasn't standing on ceremony, was he? He wasn't asking for a second invitation. He just absolutely thumped the ball into the back of the net. Very decisive, very clinical.
It's not often you see a ball hit quite as powerfully as that from such close range.
But I think there was a lot of frustration in that.
Yes.
He wasn't, I mean, it was like a hotshot Hamish for people of a certain generation. It was one of those, wasn't it? Back at the big hole in the back of the net after that one. And it was good, and that was, we talked pre-match about Celtic and their problems executing their chances. Well, there was, the first shot on target and 1 goal.
So what are the stats? Because you love them. Is it 2 on target they've had and scored 1?
No, they've had 3 on target.
Right, okay.
They had 2 after that.
Well, Giakoumakis had the powerful one to keep a save.
O'Reilly had one after. O'Reilly had one. It was a fairly easy save from the goalkeeper.
Right. Okay.
But there's a lot of good stuff from Celtic. It's not like a cosmic performance, but they've put in really good performances and got very little out of the group so far. So they'll take. It's not it's a decent performance. Yeah. But the beautiful thing is that they've got the goal, and they deserved to get the goal, and they're in a decent position now. That said, Shakhtar they're still dangerous. Of course they're still dangerous. They are.
I mean, like I spoke before, didn't you, about saying, you wouldn't be happy winning a game 1-0 if you hadn't quite hit the heights in terms of the type of football. It's not at that level, though. I mean, they're like, if they've dipped, it's only slightly, isn't it, from some of the performances that we've seen in previous matches. Overall, it's still been a very, very strong performance, and also good defensively. They've given Shakhtar really just that one opportunity. Mudrik's so dangerous, isn't he?
Yeah,
but Hart showing great awareness and great concentration levels to come out and make the save.
Yeah, that was their one scare. Shakhtar haven't had a huge amount of attacking possession. They haven't really kind of made Celtic Park go quiet with their menace, apart from that one moment. So I think they've been contained. It's a good concentration job at the back for Celtic. I think Kyogo has been very good in the game. He's popping up in all sorts of different positions. He's dropping very, very deep to pick up the ball. So I think it's so far so good from Celtic. You want to see them get a second goal, for sure. But it's they've got that. The one thing that they haven't had in games is so far is a kind of a momentum and lead, and haven't scored a home goal in the Champions League group stage, I think, in 5 years. And then Callum McGregor was the last one to get one against Bayern Munich. So that's something we haven't seen here in 5 years. I think they're in a good place so far, but with a lot of work to do.
Yeah, John Collins.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've had periods in the game where they've had good possession, but where they let themselves down was the final cross, the final delivery into the box was pretty poor, in all honesty, even from set pieces. And they finally got to next to the byline, and the one time they got there, they cut it back, and cutbacks are always dangerous. And they had 2 in the box, so the first one went for it. I think it was Kyogo, and it fell nicely, perfect for Abada. Abada went for it, and it fell nicely for Giakoumakis, and he's drilled it right in the bottom corner. So it's a clinical finish. We've got to be careful, because this team's shown in 1 or 2 moments that they can break very fast with Modric. Tactically, the opposition's really tried to block the centre area, so Celtic like to go through the centre areas. So I think they'll have to open up now, and I think you'll find Celtic will have more chances in the second half. The game will open up, but also Celtic can become more vulnerable as well as the game opens up. But they've got their noses in front, which they haven't been able to do at Celtic Park in this tournament. So hopefully that will inspire them, give them that energy, and the fans obviously are going to get behind them second half.
No, totally, and they'll be so determined to hang on to that lead. But they did have the advantage in the first game against Shakhtar. Shakhtar came back into it, grew back into the game, made the chances, got the equaliser. So they've had a warning already that what Shakhtar are capable of doing. They'll be keen to shut them out.
Yeah, but I think it's a slightly different approach. Yes, they've pressed high, but Shakhtar is taking a lot of risk inside the box, passing it out, trying to get through, and they've got away with it, Shakhtar. And then Celtic have dropped back a little and allowed them to have possession almost in their own half. Where they become dangerous is when they get a ball in between the lines higher up the pitch. You've seen that opportunity that Joe Hart had to save. It was Traore dropping off into the space, picking it up, opening it up, and then playing that ball through for the pace of Mudryk, who's running through. And that's where they're really dangerous, maybe in the wide areas too, but they're quite happy, Celtic, to leave them with the ball almost in their own half. They can pass it across.
A couple of points there, Pat. It was just ludicrous. So the goalie puts the ball down in the 6-yard box. One of the left-sided defender takes the goal kick and rolls it a few yards to his keeper, who's standing right in front of his goal now, only a few yards out from goal. He then passes it wide to the defender on the right, who then just simply leathers it 40 yards up the pitch.
Yeah, and that's just trying to suck Celtic players in, which you will do because of the players that Celtic have. You know, Yakimakis will be in there, Haksabanovic, Kyogo, Abada, even Tati will be struck forward, and that there's a big space between O'Reilly and almost the back two centre halves, and that's just sucking them in to play it forward, and they've got to be very careful now. Carter Vickers has dealt with that quite well. Even Jens has dealt with that really well. When the ball's played forward, they've really not allowed Traore to pick balls up, and then they get support from midfield. So that's worked quite well for Celtic. But that's the approach that Shakhtar has taken. They'll suck you in, they'll play it long, they'll get people in. Then when Celtic drop back in there, they keep the ball. They're not afraid to go back out and keep it and work it across the pitch, waiting for the moment to try and hit you. That penetrating pass through to somebody who's just come off their marker, or play one over the top. Celtic have been probably very aware of Stepayenko, who's the number 6 in midfield, and they're trying to stop him dictating the game. Kyogo's dropped in there at times, but he's so good that he will get his time on the ball. He's free, a bit like Callum McGregor at times, moves into little spaces, frees up, and he is a danger player because he's the one that'll hit the passes for runners going forward. So this is a very tactical game tonight, much different, I think, than other games that Celtic have played where they've just gone for it really high. I think they've learned a little bit tonight that they can't afford to always go, and they've just sat off.
For me, it's vital Juranovic doesn't bomb forward too much and use up his energy, because I think his energy is going to be key in defensive sprints matching Mudryk's pace. Because if they're going to score, it'll be from a diagonal over the top behind his head for the pace of Mudryk, so he's got to be aware of that, and he's got to have that speed and energy. So maybe restrict these overlapping runs and save his energy for defending tonight in the second half.
Let's quickly go to Kenny. Another goal at Somerset.
Yeah, pole position is where Ayr United are back in, because it's now 3-2 to the Honest Men in this game. A brilliant goal by Josh Mullen on 55 minutes. The ball was laid off to him by Andy Murdoch just outside the box, and he shot it low into the far corner. That's his third goal since joining Ayr on loan from Livingston. So Ayr United 3, Partick Thistle 2 with about 27 minutes left.
Right, the players I think just re-emerging. I hadn't noticed it at the time, but I think we saw pictures there that Hatate looked to be limping as he left the pitch in the wake of the first half. He's fine, is he? Okay, well that's good news. Pat, just remind me, I've got a story that I need to share with you that Martin Dowden shared with me, but given that we're running up to the start of the second half, I'll leave it for just now, and then we can have a wee laugh at it later on, hopefully. 1-0 for Celtic. It's 2-1 Leipzig in the other game in the group. Leipzig 2, Real Madrid 1. That means that the live table shows Madrid on 10, Leipzig 9, Shakhtar 5, Celtic 4. Still in with a chance of playing European football beyond the end of the group. About to get the second half up and running. Let's get back to Pat, to John and to Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Richard. Yeah, Europa League hopes certainly still alive if they can hold on, or indeed better this scoreline, and it would require getting something out in Madrid next week, which is of course a massive task, but something to cling on to certainly, as Celtic do get us back underway. They're going from right to left at the start of this second period in their green and white hoops. Shakhtar in orange tops, black shorts and socks, and they themselves need to turn this game around if they're to retain hopes of qualifying for the last 16 of the Champions League. Otherwise it will be Real Madrid and Leipzig who progress. Celtic thrown over on the far side to be taken by Juranovic just inside their own half. It's Kyogo on the halfway line with a good first touch, and then touches it to Hatate, who immediately gets out to the left hand side for Haksabanovic. Celtic looking to start the second half positively. Whipped it on the left foot, good defensive header by Matvienko inside his own penalty area. Had to be, because there was Celtic players lurking, and then a free kick to Shakhtar midway inside their own half. No changes for either side at half time, and it remains Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Sudkov is pushed up a little bit closer to Traore in this second half, and if he has, then that means that Hatate will just have to sit beside O'Reilly a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah, we'll see how that progresses. Certainly John thinking that naturally you would expect that, looking for something from this game, they will have to commit more men forward as the game progresses. Still a slender advantage for Celtic, but an advantage nonetheless, and an advantage I think most observers would say they had earned, as Giakoumakis struck them in front about 10 minutes before the interval. Shakhtar in possession on the left-hand side. Here's Mudryk, who had that really good chance just before the break, but Joe Hart was out to deny him. He's gone down under a couple of challenges. It will be a Shakhtar free kick just inside the Celtic half. Joe Hart demonstrating at that point that despite having barely been involved in the game, what a good goalkeeper is, always alert, and really preserved his side's advantage at that point, with Mudryk bearing down upon him. Shakhtar on the left-hand side. It's back with Mikhailichenko in the halfway line. Looking to just try and find gaps in the Celtic rear guard, but Celtic looking well organised at the moment. Mikhailichenko once more back to Matvienko, and then square for Bondar, the other centre-back. Now Lucas Taylor just touches it down the right-hand side, and it's Bondarenko. He's forced back the way, though, to Bondar, just outside his own penalty area. Plays it back to his keeper, Trubin, young Ukrainian international. Plays it forward, but Zubkov can't collect, and it's picked up by Jens, who feeds it for O'Reilly, looking to find Kyogo, but he was quickly closed down. Shakhtar have it back just on the edge of their own box, cleared by Matvienko up towards Traore, and then Mudryk finds Bondarenko. Bondarenko's ball forward. I think he was looking for the run of Traore, who checked out of it, and it's easy for Juranovic to turn it back to Joe Hart. The early second half thoughts of John Collins.
Well, just got to try and get a hold of the ball. I think Celtic just try and keep them working, stretch them. The key is focus, stay focused, and when we lose possession, we've got to get compact. That's the key. Previous games we've lost goals later in the game because we got a little bit tired, switched off, losing concentration.
O'Reilly trying to feed it forward for Giakoumakis, who stayed on side. It's a good challenge though by Bondar, got back at him well and finds Stepanenko. Now it's Mudryk inside Celtic territory coming forward. Good half challenge by O'Reilly, but Mudryk retains possession. Now it's Sudkov, tries to get it through again for Mudryk, but Carter Vickers was back there to clear, and it's picked up by Haksabanovic. Left hand side, Taylor now. Greg Taylor picks up and feeds it forward up to Giakoumakis, who holds up and spins away from Bondar, who pulls him down, and he's going to join his central defensive partner Matvienko in the referee's notebook. Yellow card and a free kick Celtic.
That was superb play down here in the left back area from Taylor. He's won it, he's won the ball, he's carried it forward, he's lifted his head, he hasn't just pumped up the line and needless ball, he's looked up and he's clipped it right in. Giakoumakis got Celtic up the pitch. Giakoumakis holds it in well. Really good play.
Yeah, controlled play. Yeah, I'm just looking, as is already said, between I think it's Sudkov and I'm trying to look at the other one. They're definitely playing a wee bit. No, it's Sudkov and Zubkov, very similar names. Number 11, number 21. They're rotating a little bit, but they're playing a little bit higher and closer to Traore. And Celtic have just got to be very, very careful of that they don't, when they lose the ball, they don't get picked off.
Sorry, Johnny.
The key is the sit-holding midfield player. He's got to be aware what's behind him. He's got to think, protect.
Yeah, he's just given the ball away. He tried to thread a pass through Matt O'Reilly, and now it's Shakhtar coming through. Mudryk trying to get on the end of the pass, and Juranovic is quick enough to get back at him before he could latch onto the forward ball. But that was how dangerous Shakhtar could be in the transitions. Fortunately, on that occasion, Juranovic was up to the task and got it back to Joe Hart, and it remains Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0.
Superb defensive work from Juranovic. He's seen the run coming, he's matched the run, and timed it to perfection. Abada again giving the ball away too easily.
I'll tell you what though, I'll tell you what, he has got pace, Mudryk. When you look at Juranovic, is really quick, and he had a couple of yards on him, and he needed those couple of yards because he was chasing them down. Real pace.
51 played, 1-0 Celtic. Yorgos Yakimakis with his first Champions League goal separates the sides, but it's Shakhtar coming forward. Mudryk just outside the penalty area, gets onto his right foot. Lucas Taylor made a good run for him. It's a poor pass in the end from Mudryk, and it's Greg Taylor who picks up. Then Yakimakis hits the deck. Ball was taken, says the referee. Shakhtar have possession and play on. And Zubkov dropping deep onto the halfway line to get possession, and it's Matvienko. Plays it short now to Sudakov, and sliding in there went Juranovic. Throw in over on the far side to Shakhtar, their left hand side, as they look to get back into the game. Played square at the back, and it's Bondar, closed down by Yakimakis, about 20 yards inside their own half. Shakhtar, Matvienko for Mikhailichenko, just coming up towards the halfway line as Celtic trying to stay in a shape. Out it goes to the left hand side to Sudakov, and back with Mikhailichenko, who's looking for options, but has to go back to Matvienko. Bondarenko screaming for it over on this near side. Eventually he'll get it just inside his own half. He turns it back to Bondar. Celtic keeping Shakhtar hemmed in their own area. And they've managed to get it out to the left hand side, and it's Sudakov. Mudryk offers himself in field. Sudakov holds on to possession, but not for long. He's presented it to Haksabanovic, back to Jens. Now O'Reilly. Celtic playing composed football under severe pressure at the back there, and O'Reilly has it midway inside his own half, just holds off Stepanenko and plays it to Carter Vickers. Hatati comes back and plays the wall pass for Carter Vickers. Now it's O'Reilly looking to clip it out to the right hand side. Abada just manages to keep it in, but gives the ball to Mudryk, but then he wins it back. The young winger, let Shakhtar have it back once more. It's played back to Truman inside his own 6-yard box, plays a short ball to Bondar for Lucas Taylor down the right hand side. He's robbed by Haksabanovic, but then wins it back off Yakimakis. Still inside Shakhtar's own penalty area. Yakimakis has won it from Bondar. Claims there that Bondar brought Yakimakis down. The referee was in a good position, doesn't award anything. Comes back towards the Shakhtar penalty area. But sometimes maybe overplaying inside their own penalty area almost threatens to catch Shakhtar out, but they've got away with that one.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty though. I think he tripped over him, didn't he, Yakimakis? Yeah. The shout will go up always from the fans, but certainly wasn't a penalty in my book.
Shakhtar are going to make a change early in this second period by the looks of it. There's Danilo Sikan, who's a forward, who's getting ready. I wonder if Traore, who hasn't really managed to get involved in the game, he did play that pass through for Mudryk at the end of the first half. Here is Mudryk right now, caught in the challenge, but it falls for Traore. Zubkov with the back post, side netting only, should have scored, but couldn't force it in from the angle. It opened up for him fortuitously, and Zubkov will feel he should have added to the goals he got against Real Madrid, but it remains Celtic 1, Shakhtar 0.
It comes from Mudryk, not standing wide looking for he's coming into that pocket in that central area, midfield area, where a fullback can't go in and match him. And that's where I think you need two sitting midfield players to cover that area.
Always too much for Matt O'Reilly. You know, he's
got the legs to do it.
He hasn't got the legs, plus he also not even thinking defensively at times. And they're obviously without McGregor, but they're also without that defensive-oriented player. And that could catch him, because I think I mentioned the Zudakov, and it's actually Bondarenko that are swapping positions, and they're just getting in between the lines. Mudryk on that side has got in between the lines, and they'll pick passes to them, and then with the pace and ability that they have, they will go and attack the back four.
What's happening now, that the distance between Celtic strikers and the back four is becoming longer, which creates more of gaps for them to find those pockets. It's really important. Either the front three drop deeper or the back four push up. What you can't have is that stretched middle area. It kills your midfield players and gives them so much space to move into, especially Mudryk.
Mudryk's going off at the far side. Shakhtar hope it's not him that's going to be replaced. Zubkov's got to score there, is he not, John?
He should have. It was a tight angle, but at this level you would imagine him to hit the target. Hits the target, it's back of the net.
Kyogo was clipped there by Stepanenko as he came forward. It's going to be a Celtic free kick midway inside the Shakhtar half, and it's going to be another yellow. It is indeed, this time for the Shakhtar captain.
Not a bad thing to calm the game down, give him a chance to get a rest, get a breather. They're putting a tremendous amount of work in.
I think Stepanenko that time was probably a little bit unlucky, because I think Kyogo ran across him at the end up. He got away from him, sure. It was always going to be a free kick, whether it was a booking or not, I'm not 100% sure, but Celtic will take it. There is a change coming here now.
Yeah, it is Traore, who is being replaced by Danilo Sican.
Well, Carter Vickers has had him in his pocket all night. He's done a great job on him. No surprise he's gone off. He hasn't really made any contribution in the game.
Yeah, he did slip that one through for Mudryk towards the end of the first half. That was really the only involvement. It was his sclaffed shot, actually, that almost was turned in by Zubkov, but that was more by good fortune than anything else. And Lassina Traore makes way for Danilo Sican for the final 35 minutes of the game, as Matt O'Reilly prepares to take this free kick midway inside the Shakhtar half, just slightly right of centre for Celtic. Clips it in towards the back post area. Yent's unable to make anything of that initially. Haksabanovic trying to keep it alive though for Celtic. Taylor in for Hattati. He's presented it straight to Bondarenko, and forward comes Shakhtar looking to counter-attack. It's Mudryk, shows a little bit of the ball to Juranovic, but he doesn't take it. Still Mudryk going, makes room for a shot, goal! Shakhtar are level, and it's that man Mudryk always the biggest threat. And Shakhtar on the counter-attack have pulled level against Celtic. It's Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 1.
We did say he was a danger man. Celtic give the ball away on the edge of the box, and then they're caught in the counter-attack, and he picks the ball up, showed brilliant control, brilliant awareness, and then the finish at the end of it, John. Magnificent strike, I've got to say.
That's a great finish. He's got that in him, hasn't he? He's got that pace, he's got a strike. But again, I don't think Celtic set up. I think they put the ball in the box at the wrong angle. I'd like to see it go wider and then thrown in the box. And I don't think they had players outside the box anticipating a counter-attack.
Absolutely, and that's the difference. At this level, if you're not set up and organised properly, you're going to get punished. And he is the danger man, and he should not be allowed to pick a ball up and run 20 yards and then get that finish on it. He was in a 1v1 situation with Juranovic. He comes inside. Juranovic really couldn't get close to him, and you've got to say, a brilliant finish.
It's his third Champions League goal of the season. He got the equaliser out in Warsaw against Celtic. He scored here, having also scored in the opening game, the 4-1 win over Leipzig. And he is a man in form. He's been linked, as I said earlier, with Arsenal, also with Roma and Leeds recently. Shakhtar will certainly do well to hold on to him for much longer. I just wondered, I don't know if either of you thought that perhaps, was there a nick at all? Because it seemed to beat Joe Hart.
No, it was a good strike.
No, just a good strike, yeah.
Pace, top over the top of Joe Hart, really. There was real pace in it. He may have got a slight nick, but...
Well, Shakhtar have got the leveller, and forward they come once more, and it's Sican. Back to Stepanenko, the captain. Tries to step away from Kyogo. Came off his arm, but the referee says play on. It was unintentional. So Shakhtar continue to build down the left-hand side with the goal scorer Mudryk. Really is. I mean, his pace is something else. Such a great weapon, but also he can play a bit. That's for sure. And Celtic learned that to their cost once again this evening. An hour played, Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1, and Shakhtar will just turn the ball back to their goalkeeper, Anatoly Trubin, just on the edge of his penalty area, and he launches it long. Carter Vickers will win that one unchallenged. Giacomakis takes it down on the chest. His goal has been cancelled out by that of Mudryk. Here is O'Reilly trying to burst forward, tried to go through a gap that wasn't really there in the referee's reckoning, and he just urged to get back to his feet as Stepanenko picks up and spreads the play out to the left-hand side. 1-1 on the hour mark here at Celtic Park. Mudryk bringing Shakhtar level just a couple of minutes ago with a fabulous solo goal.
Yeah, and that's the change they made also, that they've pulled Mudryk almost in the inside. He's coming from out to in, and he's sitting in that channel and leaving the full-back to be the one that's given the width. And those little changes, those little adaptations that they've made has caused Celtic some problems.
Bondarenko certainly playing further forward in the second half as well, as you mentioned. Paki. And here's Sudakov, who's drifted further out to the left with Mudryk occupying that more central area at times. Here he is in possession just now, but he's given it away to O'Reilly. Good interception by O'Reilly. Kyogo picks up, drives towards the Shakhtar penalty area, to the edge of it, but he's dispossessed pretty comfortably in the end by Matvienko, and Shakhtar will try to counter once more. They commit plenty of players to that counter once they win it back.
We've just got to try and get a hold of the ball. Too many players running down blind alleyways. Need to get some possession, get our shape back.
Celtic are thinking about changes of their own as John Kennedy looks down the touchline with Maida and Forrest coming back to the technical area, having been warming up. Here's Lucas Taylor down the right-hand side for Shakhtar, tries to get the cross in. He does get the cross in, but there's no Shakhtar teammates in there, and a comfortable take for Joe Hart. 16.5 minutes of the second half have been played, and it's Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1 as Hatate picks up in the centre circle, looks up, looks left and looks right, and plays it to Greg Taylor, who funnels it out left-hand side to Haksabanovic, midway inside the Shakhtar half, and he goes back the way to Jens. David Turnbull also coming back to the technical area. We'll see in a minute who's coming on. It looks like Maida certainly, and Forrest is also stripped here. Jens on the halfway line as Celtic look for the victory that would keep alive their hopes of Europa League football beyond Christmas. Hatate on the left-hand side nudges it forward for Taylor. Haksabanovic, Giacomakis is just onside edge of the penalty, through for Kyogo. Good save by Trubin. Hatate on the rebound, can't get a shot that's worthy of the name. Here's Haksabanovic though, picks up 25 yards from goal, back to O'Reilly, just slips, then takes it onto the right foot shot, well off target. He had options to the right. Juranovic is furious out on the right. O'Reilly should have fed him, and it remains 1-1.
He's chopped on his weaker foot, right foot. He's not going to score for 25 yards. There's a pass over to Juranovic and a delivery into the box, but that was a good move from Celtic. Kyogo, just that key moment, he's got to do better.
I think he's got to lift it over the goalkeeper.
Terrific move though, great pass and great movement, just the final shot.
Yeah, Kyogo will feel he should have done better. Normally so deadly in such areas, played in by Giacomakis as it's fed forward up to the halfway line, and it's going to be a free kick to Celtic as they prepare a treble change, and Aaron Moy is the other. So Maida, Forrest and Moy are going to come on to just try and add a bit of energy, certainly in the wide areas.
It's a right move. He needs three pairs of fresh legs on. There's a lot of tired players out there. I think Abadi will come off, Haksabanovic, and maybe Giacomakis as well.
Carter Vickers in possession. All the Celtic players bar Joe Hart inside the Shakhtar half as they look to go back in front. It's Kyogo, but 30 yards from goal, clips that in for Giacomakis. Oh, he looked to chase that into the path of Abada, and it was cut out just inside the penalty area, but a bit better from Celtic again. Up to the halfway line it goes. Carter Vickers gets it back from Hatate. The fans inside Celtic Park trying to get back behind their team, having seen them pegged back from 1-0 up, back to 1 each. It's Carter Vickers under a bit of pressure. Plays it to Jens. Jens equally closed down by Zubkov. He'll have to go back to his keeper Joe Hart here, just on the edge of his own area. Sudakov's there as well, trying to close Celtic down. Jens gets it back once more, plays it out to the left-hand side. Taylor just keeps it in, despite Bondarenko's claims. Taylor just tries to play it down the line, but he's had to hack it out. You can see that Celtic just a little bit rattled by not only Shakhtar's equaliser, but the level of pressure putting on them in that final third. Here come the changes then. Haksabanovic the first to make way for Maida. Decent hour and a bit from Haksabanovic. Kyogo also making way with Moy coming on. And then the final change, we'll see James Forrest come on, and it is Liel Abada who makes way, a like-for-like change, that one on the right-hand side. As it remains Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1, 65 minutes on the clock. Shakhtar have a throw-in on the near side. Probably marginally had the better of the second half, Shakhtar. Aki, would you agree?
Yeah, I think that the changes that they made, that subtle changes, tactical changes, I think when they got control of the ball, they were able to pick Celtic off a little bit. They were look more dangerous, let's put it that way. In the last 5 minutes, Celtic got back in control of the game, and they're, they've made a couple of chances. The one from Kyogo getting tripped, he just got a wee bit more control of the ball. But you can see how Shakhtar again pressed Celtic high in that occasion, then won the ball back and kills the game off again, kills that momentum off a little bit, because they now have the free kick here.
Yeah, it's a free kick to Shakhtar, right hand side, to be taken by Mudryk. Swings it into the penalty area. Carter Vickers gets the first contact on it, heads it towards the edge of the penalty area. Hatate helps it on, and then it's going to be a Celtic free kick as Hatate was caught, albeit Lucas Taylor probably got
good refereeing. Good refereeing. A lot of referees would have maybe given it the other way.
Yeah, it was certainly a foul by Lucas Taylor, despite the fact that he got more of the impact from Hatate. Here's Moy, just on as a substitute, out to fellow sub James Forrest, who's been on a rich vein of goal-scoring form, four goals in his last 2 league starts.
Well, these substitutions now need to make a real impact, don't they? They come on, they're fresh legs, and can they make that critical impact? There's one each. I think a goal will win this game, either team.
Well, we shall see. Just under 25 minutes to play as Moy claims for a corner kick, but the assistant referee says otherwise. Goal kick, he reckons. And Shakhtar with just over a quarter of the game to play. They've got the equaliser through Mudryk.
I mean, it's an excellent game to watch. Both teams trying to play out for the back, both teams pressing high.
Shakhtar have never won in the UK. Closest they came was the draw in the last visit against Man City. Lost on both their previous visits here to Celtic Park, and they were behind for a pooled level in the second period. Shakhtar in possession, and it's Bondar playing it to central defensive partner Matvienko. There's a mistake, a sliced attempt at a pass there from Sudikov, and he got away with it. Matvienko bailing him out, but it's out for a throw over on the far side to Celtic. Forrest will just leave it for Juranovic to come forward to take. Celtic down the right hand side. Juranovic for Hatate, and then Forrest. Hatate once more down the corner flag on the right hand side, just stands it up. O'Reilly into the 6-yard box, headed away by Stepanenko. Surikov helps it further on. Sikan can't make anything of it, just out-muscled there by Carter Vickers.
Good power, good body strength, good distance. He's always up against the striker when it breaks. Carter Vickers.
Here is Carter Vickers once more, hoping to be named in the American World Cup squad when it's announced in the next week or so. Shakhtar again repel the danger down the right hand side for Celtic. Still 1-1, still anyone's game as Jens picks up for Celtic.
Yeah, you can see Shakhtar just dropping back into a great ball.
Yeah, here's Maida, left hand side of the penalty area. Maida cuts in, can he get the shot away? It's a cross goal and behind for a corner kick. There's a body hit the deck at the edge of the box.
Yeah, be interested. Bar's got this. They'll bring it back.
That move progressed as the ball was played. I think it was Giacomakis who was caught off the ball. I didn't really see what happened. I'm not sure if either of you two guys or Keradine Iksar, who's our pitchside reporter, might have had a view of that one.
Yeah, it looked like a clear foul on Georgios Giacomakis, just on the edge of the area as the ball was about to come across. He was trying to get beyond his man. It looked like he was either pulled back or the kind of arm across his top of his chest or his face. It'll be very interesting to see what VAR makes of that.
I don't think they're checking it, are they?
I'll be very surprised if they don't.
No, the referee's asking them to carry on. It was outside the box, so VAR unable to intervene in that sense.
Wrong.
The corner kick is cleared, and Sudikov able to clear. Yeah, if it had been inside the penalty area, VAR would have had a look certainly, but if it was on the edge, then they're not able to get involved. We're learning all the time about VAR nowadays, but clearly it's been in play in the Champions League for some time now. Celtic and this season Rangers getting used to it used it in the Europa League.
I mean, that last chance, we've got to take that back to Greg Taylor again. What a through pass. He split their defence open with a inch perfect pass.
Carter Vickers has it on the halfway line, plays it square for Celtic. Back on the front foot, but need to try and make it count as Taylor helps it forward for Maida, who did ever so well in that previous move, but just couldn't find a teammate inside the 6-yard box with the cut back.
This is where it becomes slightly dangerous for Celtic in one way. They've got so much possession now. They can create chances, but you could just see Shakhtar breaking away again because they've got that in their armoury at that counter-attack.
Look where Matt O'Reilly is. He's a central midfield player. He's got to make sure he stays central. Don't get sucked towards the ball.
Cross goes Carter Vickers. Oh, Mudryk's beating him to the ball. Mudryk's bearing down on goal. Across goes Jens. It's Mudryk. Plays it square. Seacan. He can't miss. He has missed. Oh my goodness. That is incredible. Mudryk did everything for him. Laid it on a plate. And the first touch of Seacan took it wide of goal. What a let-off for Celtic. Celtic won, Shakhtar won.
I mean, when Celtic got possession of the ball in the final third, they've got to secure the central area. That's what everybody danger's coming from. When they break centrally, because Celtic have not got players in that area, and then they're running at the back four with unbelievable pace.
But you're looking at the situation here now. They're set up to be hitting the counter-attack again.
Yep, look.
There's nobody sitting on number 14. Of the pitch. And they've got two, three players.
About the miss?
Yeah, we need to talk about the miss, but I'm saying it comes from that. Mudryk, unbelievable pace. Carter Vickers is also quick, and he beat him to the ball, and then when he played that ball across, how he missed it, I don't know. He's going with the wrong foot. He just tapped in with his right foot. I think he's can almost played it with his left foot.
That's a miss of the season. Incredible miss.
But got away with it now, Celtic, and you know, if they come out on top in this game, that's the learning, John. That is the learning. I keep saying it all the time against these teams. They are so good, and that's how they actually train. They train that way to play on the counter-attack, and so naive at times.
Moy and O'Reilly have got to sit. They've got to be aware of is it 14 and 10. They're cheating. They're expecting the ball to break to them now.
Yeah. John, go back to the start of that Shakhtar counter. You see Bondarenko passed from the right-hand side of his own penalty area right across the penalty. It was such a risky pass, but he had the bravery to play it. It was spot on, and that's where the ball then went forward to Mudryk, whose pace was once again incredible.
That's been a feature of their play. They have played out from the back every single time, and they've been caught a couple of times, but they continue to do it. And from Celtic's point of view, you know you can still catch them. You've got to be ready.
Absolutely, they suck you in. They suck 3-4 players into one side of the pitch. They'll open out onto the other side, and then they're away.
What a miss it was. I mean, honestly, you've got to see this. Got to see it. Here's Greg Taylor. Celtic still level then. Should be behind, but Seacan with an incredible miss after brilliant play again by Mudryk, and the electric pace, just phenomenal. But Celtic have had their chances certainly, and still very much in the game. Still, of course, need the 3 points to make it a live game going into the Bernabeu next midweek. Shakhtar have possession deep in their own half. Ball forward for Zubkov. Here they come once more. It's Sudakov now, midway inside the Celtic half. Out to Mudryk. Mudryk up against Juranovic. Moy comes back to try and help him out. Back it goes to Bondarenko, but Celtic have nicked it. Hatate has it. Plays it forward for Maida. Maida just inside the Shakhtar half. Lays it back. It will come to Moy. Moy, good play from him. Picked up by O'Reilly. It's got runners ahead of him. It's Hatate on the edge of the penalty. Picks the wrong pass, and it's cut out by Shakhtar. It's end to end. This at the moment, it could go either way. Here comes Shakhtar once more, trying to play it through. It's a poor pass that time from Bondarenko. 15 to play. Celtic won. Shakhtar
it's like a game of basketball.
But John, I don't believe that. You've got Matt O'Reilly sitting player. He's now playing further forward. You've got where's Aaron Moy? As Hatate now is sitting, he'll go forward. Well, he'll play this ball and he'll run forward, and there is nobody. Look, he's away forward now. There is nobody.
Matt O'Reilly goes for goal. Pushed round the post by Trubin. Celtic corner.
It's all or nothing.
You're not a fan of this, what would you call it?
Listen, I can go for you. If they score a goal, nobody even talk about it. But when you're sitting up here watching it, you're saying, oh my word, they're wide open.
Celtic corner, right hand side, Aaron Moy to take, 15 to play, 1-1. And it comes away before Carter Vickers can get on the end of it. 2-1 still Leipzig lead as far as I'm aware. So they will extend their advantage over Shakhtar as things stand in second place. Here comes Celtic once more, edge of the penalty area. O'Reilly back out to the right hand side for Moy. Left footed, swings it in. Truman gets good fist hit to the edge of the box, picked up by O'Reilly. Back out to Moy on the right hand side, about 30 yards from goal. Moy helps it back in. Forrest gets a glance on it, but cleared away high in the air. Shakhtar boot. Zubkov picks up, and Sikan, who will still be having flashbacks to that miscontrol that sent the ball wide ago, and it was easier to tap it into the empty net. Carter Vickers picks up in the clearance and plays it short to O'Reilly inside the centre circle. 14 left. Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1 in the Champions League. Juranovic taking a real chance and just gets the pass away to Carter Vickers before Sudakov, I think it was, tried to rob him. Poor ball forward from Jens, but the loose ball's picked up by O'Reilly. Again, the pass is a bit loose, and Mudryk picks up and links with Sikan, but Moy back there to rob him of possession. It's Hatate once more, edge of the centre circle, spins and goes back the way. The Celtic fans didn't like that. I think he can let Rio Hatate off with one wrong decision. He very rarely does that. Here's Forrest on the far side, step over, ball in from the right hand side. Good defending by Bondar before Moy could get in there on the end of that one into the penalty area. Better from Celtic. Carter Vickers square for Jens out to the left hand side. It's Taylor. Hatate now midway inside the Shakhtar half, looking to slide it through for Taylor. That's cut out. Sikan picks up, and now Bondarenko finds Mudryk still midway inside his own half, loses out to Juranovic, and Moy still inside Shakhtar territory. Out to the right hand side, it's Forrest. First time ball. Juranovic back to O'Reilly, midway inside the Shakhtar half, plays it square looking for Taylor. Poor ball from him. Zubkov picks up for Shakhtar. They try and get it forward. Sikan caught in the challenge by Jens. It was a fair one, says the referee. 12 and a half left on the clock. Sikan stayed down. Celtic come forward. Moy right hand side. Mudryk goes across to try and close him down. It's back with O'Reilly on the left foot in the right channel, looking for options. Goes back out to the right hand side to Aaron Moy. Now it's Forrest. Forrest gets the early cross in again. Truman comes out, punches it away to the edge of the penalty area. Moy picks up once more. Poor attempted pass from him. They get it clear out to the left hand side. The Shakhtar. Mikhailichenko knocks it away. Down by Juranovic though for Forrest. Now Hatate, angle of the box on the right hand side. O'Reilly back to Hatate. Ping-ponging about in there, and Shakhtar have it back, and it's Sudakov. Sudakov out to the right hand side, and it's Zubkov to run at Greg Taylor, crossing the halfway line, couple of step overs. Lucas Taylor on the overlap up towards the edge of the penalty area. Taylor's only got one option in the middle, can't pick him out, and it's all the way to the back post for Juranovic, and the Celtic fans immediately urge Celtic forward once again. 11 and a half on the clock. 1-1 it stands. Celtic want their players to go forward even more urgently than they are. Perhaps just getting used to a never-ending stream of attacking football, and when they labour it even slightly,
I haven't said anything for about 5 minutes now. Just watching this, it's incredible. Celtic going all out for it, pushing players forward into positions, and they're getting away with it. And they could win this game by the sheer intensity of going forward, but they could lose it.
They keep getting it wide and getting balls in the box. I'm telling you, their goalkeeper has not caught it once all night. He's punched everything.
Yeah, he has, John. You're right. Carter Vickers out to the right hand side for Juranovic. Midway inside Shakhtar half, it's Forrest. Moy slides it back forward looking for Forrest. Attempted back heel, gives it right to Forrest from Mikhailichenko, I think it was, across there. Forrest has done well, and Moy also, and it will be a Celtic corner over on the far side. 10 and a half minutes left of the 90. Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1.
I don't know the players are feeling, but I'm tired just watching it.
John, you were never tired playing. What are you talking about? Here's Forrest right hand side, edge of the penalty area. Mudryk goes to close him down. O'Reilly can't bring it under control. Juranovic picks up on the edge of the centre circle and gets it back out to the right hand side for Moy. Moy left footed, helps it into the penalty area. Yakimaki's trying to get on the end of it, but it's shepherded back to the goalkeeper Truman. 10 minutes to play. Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1.
there's going to be chances in this game. There has to be chances for the amount of possession Celtic have had and their want of trying to get in. There has to be at least one good chance here.
Last 10 minutes, players are getting tired. You lose concentration. Gaps appear, little gaps. Can we exploit it? Keep putting them under pressure, in and around the box. A gap will open up.
Here's Greg Taylor, left-hand side, just midway point of the Shakhtar half. Maida gets it back from O'Reilly, but then he's lost out, the Japanese swinger, to Zubkov. Out to Surikov on the left-hand side. Shakhtar committing players forward. Mikhailichenko's on the outside. Mudryk finds him eventually, although across goes Juranovic to cut out the pass. Prevents it getting from to Mikhailichenko, and eventually plays it off Mikhailichenko down at his own corner flag, Juranovic, and he'll take the throw-in just a couple of yards away.
If you put a scale of 1 to 10 of risk in the way the Celtic play, it's probably up around about 8. 8 of high risk, yeah, it's incredible.
And excitement.
Here's Zubkov for Shakhtar, right-hand side. Maida tracks him, forces him back the way. It's back with Bondar. Now Matvienko, now out to the left-hand side. Mikhailichenko gets it out to Surikov, up against Moy on the left-hand side, just slips it forward for Mudryk. Mudryk is left now one-on-one against Juranovic. Forward for Sikan, can he redeem himself? Good challenge by Jens, it might break for Mudryk inside the penalty area, left-hand side. Back to Sikan once more. It's just him inside the penalty, he lays it back to the left-hand side for Mikhailichenko. They'll start to recycle it now with Stepanenko. Shakhtar enjoying a bit of possession, the home fans don't like it. 1-1 it stands with 8 to play, plus injury time. Bondarenko infield for Stepanenko, middle of the park. Spreads it back out to the left-hand side for Surikov. Back the way it goes to Mikhailichenko, halfway line. And now Matvienko just inside his own half, forward for Stepanenko, back out to Mikhailichenko, and back to Matvienko once more, square for Bonda. Thinks about the ball out to the right-hand side, eventually it does come out to Lucas Taylor, just inside his own half on the Shakhtar right. Now it's Bondarenko, back with Taylor, just trying to lure Celtic forward to just get them out of the defensive position. Back it goes to the goalkeeper Truman, who goes long looking for the run of Zubkov up against Greg Taylor. Does well, Taylor to get it to Jens, and then back again to Greg Taylor. Taylor left hand side under pressure here from Sikan, and he's
absolutely superb play from Taylor. Composure, doesn't want to give the ball away, doesn't want to launch it, takes his player on, tucks it inside, a nice switchy play. Another outstanding performance from him.
Moy back to Carter Vickers. Back with Moy once more, right hand side, further right to James Forrest, midway inside.
Go on.
The Shakhtar half, urged to get forward by Paki Bonner, puts the ball into the penalty area. Repelled initially, and then Mikhailichenko just trying to see it out for a goal kick, but Forrest had other ideas. Yeah, he just needs to throw in instead.
Yeah, you just want to see James get the ball and go and drive at a defender. There's a substitution.
David Turnbull for Rio Tati. Last 6 minutes or so then for David Turnbull, just to inject that final bit of energy perhaps. 3-1 Leipzig. Timo Werner has perhaps put that game beyond Real Madrid, so unless Shakhtar can get a goal in these closing stages, there, by my calculations, their own Champions League dream will also die here at Celtic Park, and then it'll be down to the final games to see who finishes third between Shakhtar and Celtic. The Shakhtar at home, or nominally at home in Warsaw against RB Leipzig, and Celtic of course away in the Bernabeu. Forward it comes to Moy down the right hand side. Carter Vickers now. As Riley picks up edge of the penalty area, out to Moy, right hand side of the penalty area, into the box it comes, well defended by Shakhtar, and it's picked up by Surikov. It's an opportunity there for Celtic to create something, but Moy could not pick out a teammate.
He's got to put that ball across the 6-yard box. He's tried to almost move it behind the opposite side of the defender who was racing back to his goal, and the defender did well to get a leg out and deflect it away. But
actually, a draw here for Shakhtar wouldn't kill off their Champions League coach. Just trying to keep my producer on his toes this evening. They would be, I think, 3 points behind going into the final game against RB Leipzig. So a victory over Leipzig in that final game would of course take them through on the head-to-head. Here's Jens for Celtic, to Turnbull, back to Taylor, and Turnbull once more midway inside the Shakhtar half. Carter Vickers now, every Celtic player barring Joe Hart well inside Shakhtar territory as the visitors prepare a couple of substitutions. Down the right Celtic comes. Forrest trying to make some headway. 4 minutes to play, 1-1 it stands at Celtic Park. Clipped in by Juranovic. O'Reilly looking for Moy. Did he need to do the elaborate flick there? O'Reilly, I mean, it was a clever idea, but perhaps a simpler touch would have taken himself into the penalty area, Packy.
Absolutely, and that's your holding midfield player running beyond the defence, which is remarkable. But he got himself in that great position. Just carry on with it, and he's into the box, and then people can't take him down. Well, they can't tackle him really.
Here comes Celtic once more down the right-hand side.
Go on.
Forrest plays it infield for Juranovic. Juranovic comes back out to O'Reilly, and now Carter Vickers.
Secret itself's got to keep it moving quick.
Here's Turnbull, 25 yards. Thought he might have fancied a ping at goal there. Instead he goes to Taylor, who finds Carter Vickers, and now it's Moy. Celtic trusting in the build-up process here to find an angle, find the right opening. Taylor once more, 25 yards from goal, throws it into the back post. It's over everyone, but it'll come to Aaron Moy, right-hand side of the penalty area. Moy leaves it, comes back in. O'Reilly with a shot, just wide! Just a side-footed effort, tried to tease it in at the back post, but it's inches wide of the right-hand post, and it remains Celtic 1, Shakhtar 1.
Excellent link-up play from James Forrest, and Moy comes back to Matt O'Reilly just past the post.
He just opens up his foot, doesn't he? You know, and he was kind of almost ahead of the ball, and he just had to open up, and it just comes off the side of his foot. Just couldn't get any purchase on it, and it goes by the post.
Shakhtar had been pondering a change. In fact, I think they've changed the player that they're going to bring on. They were going to bring on Edward Kozik, but now it's Serhij Kristov who looks more likely to come on, certainly initially. Couple of minutes left of the 90, plus added on time, of course, as Carter Vickers comes forward and plays it to Forrest, now out to the right-hand side to Juranovic. Juranovic into the penalty, early ball. Bondar with a header out to the left-hand side, picked up by Moy, but he can't find a teammate, and it's Bondarenko who picks up on the edge of his own penalty area, and Shakhtar can come clear, and it's Surikov finding Mudryk. Back in field looking for Surikov, but Giacomakis back there working his socks off to win possession back. In fact, it is going to be a double change for Shakhtar as Celtic come forward right-hand side once more, and Surikov back defending, knocks it behind for a corner kick.
I mean, it's been a real dominant last 15 minutes from Celtic. They've had them pinned in their own half.
Right-hand side then for Celtic. Turnbull to take this corner kick. Every Celtic player in and around the penalty area, but it's easily defended at the near post. Moy gets a chance to return it. Another good defensive header, this time by Matvienko. Forward comes Shakhtar. Can they pounce in the counter-attack once more? That's what they're going to try and do. Celtic flooding players back the way. The ball forward wasn't intended for Zubkov, but it falls to him up against Juranovic, and he's caught Juranovic. And Juranovic not happy about Zubkov's intentions there. It will be a yellow card for Zubkov. Celtic free kick midway inside their own half, and Shakhtar want to make these changes, and they're going to get a chance to do so before the free kick can be taken. So the double change is going to be Serhij Kristov and Ivan Petriak. Petriak's going to replace Mudryk, who once again,
glad to see him go off.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, John, hasn't he?
It's just his pace, his finish. He's been a threat all night. But in fairness, Juranovic has done a fairly decent job on him. He obviously scored the goal, but he's got a bright future ahead of him, that's for sure. I don't think about Shakhtar next season.
Yeah, he's a perfect player when you want to play in the counter-attack.
Yeah.
Because of his pace, positions he picks up.
And Kristov coming on for Sudakov there. And it's, I think it might have gone to a back three. 3 minutes of added on time then to be played at Celtic Park. We've just gone into that right now. Forward comes Celtic through Jens, out to the left-hand side for Maida. Maida up against Zubkov. Zubkov, as he thought he pulled him down there, having just earned a yellow card, but play allowed to continue. Celtic have it, and it's Jens for Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers coming forward. Celtic looking for a late winner. Into the penalty area it goes. Maida gets up. Oh, it's off the post from Giakoumakis and then into the arms.
Free kick.
Oh, Trudon. It would have been a free kick, I think, probably before the ball came off Giakoumakis. I don't think it would have stood. But so close to the ball ending up in the back of the net from Giakoumakis, looking for his second of the night. As Maida rose, it will be a free kick to Shakhtar inside their own penalty.
It was a terrific ball from Carter Vickers. He stepped forward and played it at a good height and a good tight, just perfect from coming into the back post. Leapt, superb timing
from Maeda, yeah, and Giakoumakis just, he had to almost foul the defender to get in front of him. There was no other way he was going to do it. So yeah, but could there be one more big chance for Celtic in the last minute or so? They've done it before.
Lucas Taylor off getting treatment right now for Shakhtar, so they're down to 10 men just for the moment, although he's keen to try and get back on and help his teammates earn a point if at all possible. Back on he comes as the ball's bouncing about in the middle of the park. Celtic desperate to get it forward. Turnbull turns away from a couple of players and then knocks it back to Joe Hart. Hart just outside his own penalty area. A minute of added on time remaining at Celtic Park. Square for Carter Vickers. He's closed down. Back to Jens, still inside his own half. Celtic need to get it forward urgently if they're to get the victory that would keep her alive there. Europa League hopes. Carter Vickers out to the right hand side. Juranovic, now Forrest. Forrest quickly closed down. Back to Carter Vickers. Jens now, square. Still about 45 yards from goal. Back with Carter Vickers. They need to get it into the penalty area. It's Turnbull out to the right hand side. Juranovic just tries to help it forward, but it's a poor pass, and Stepanenko comes in and knocks it out of play. Throw in quickly taken. A couple of Celtic players got separate balls there and wanted to take a throw in each. Jens has it. Forward he comes. Lead off by O'Reilly, but it's a slack one, a tired one from O'Reilly, who's given it his all, and it's back with Joe Hart. He needs to launch it this time. Carter Vickers, halfway line, steps forward, closed down by Sikan, out to Moy on the right hand side. Feigns to put it in. Plays a short ball to Juranovic instead. Back with Moy, he needs to send it into the penalty area. Time's going to run out for Celtic. Short ball instead for Turnbull. Back to Moy on the right hand side. The fans try to tell them they need to get it in. It does come in, but it's into the arms of Trubin. Comfortable take for the goalkeeper. We're past the 3 minutes of added on time as Igor Jovicevic, the Shakhtar coach, asked the fourth official why are we still playing with injury time having been already seen out, as Trubin launches it long. There is the full-time whistle. And once again, we could argue Celtic perhaps not getting the rewards some of their play deserved. They led in the game, but were pegged back by a wonderful bit of play by Mikola Mudryk. And in truth, Shakhtar could have won it, but for a glaring miss in the second half by the substitute Sikan. Celtic had led since the 34th minute when Giakoumakis slid the ball into the net after a Bada shot had been blocked. And they were certainly on top and deserved to be on top at that stage. Shakhtar in the second half made improvements, made a bit of tinkering to their formation, and that man Mudryk, 2 minutes before the hour mark, on the counter-attack, cut in from the left-hand side, and his shot from the edge of the box beat Joe Hart for the equaliser, and a third Champions League goal of the campaign for Mudryk. Kyogo was denied by Trubin when he was through in goal before that opportunity for Sikan, which he will have nightmares about this evening. Could have brought about the victory for Shakhtar, but it wasn't to be, as Mudryk laid it on a plate and he nudged the ball wide of goal rather than between the sticks with Joe Hart stranded. O'Reilly had a couple of late efforts for Celtic, but that was really all they could muster. They're still without a home victory since 2013. in the Champions League, and they will now go to Madrid knowing that that game is effectively a dead rubber for them, and will look to try and muster something from the Bernabeu. They have once again competed well at this level, but still don't have the victory. It's finished at Celtic Park this evening. Celtic 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 1.
Celtic